Gold and silver prices have bottomed, and a resumption of the bull market that we started many years ago is now finally underway. Now, this isn't my personal opinion, instead it's that of Clive Maund, who I've covered many times before in these updates, but this update that he came out with, I believe it was just over a week ago, is very interesting and it's worth a read. So I'm just going to quickly go over the main points of this, and I'll put the article below for you guys to go ahead and read the whole thing. So Clive says a major new uptrend has thus begun, signaled which is still in its infancy. So he's talking about right here. The signal was right here, the $1,700 signal that he was looking for it to come down to. He says that this head and shoulders pattern was finally confirmed, and it's now broken us above the resistance point, the previous resistance point that is. And yeah, he's taking this as a resumption of the bull market. Now, he also notes the two massive resistance points above. This one here at 1800 that has turned the price back 3 times in the previous, previous year. And also the $1,900 area, which is the previous all-time high. There's also plenty of upside potential for the MACD, having crossed over the zero line, now starting to go into positive territory. So now to sum up what he shows the 13-year gold chart, and he shows that a break to the $27,000 to $3,000 area is perfectly reasonable, just because of the fact that we got a little bit overextended in 2011 in terms of this very strong bull market, that 2012 has thus been a consolidation year. Now we have finally come to the lower bound of this uptrend, which should send the prices skyrocketing as it has in the past before. So he has one quick quote that I think completely sums up this bull market. Let me just look for it right here. The fact of the matter is this: if currency gets debased, and they are being debased at an ever-increasing rate, then gold, which is real money, is going to go up to compensate. That's all there is to it. Case closed. So that is his explanation for this massive bull market. We all know that the Federal Reserve has no plans in slowing down the printing presses. We've all seen all the geopolitical instability in the Middle East, with now talks of war going to Syria. Basically, you couldn't even say a list of countries that are in war right now, or some type of political instability, without leaving out at least a dozen. It's just simply too hard to account for all the wars that are going on. And finally, the looming fiscal cliff that is coming up is making investors go strong into the physical metals. So that was my quick analysis of the gold market, going in terms of what Clive says. And he also goes into the US dollar index a little bit, showing how we're now turning downwards a little bit. So obviously weakness in the US dollar means strength in gold and silver, so that's why this is relevant to the discussion. He also has a silver market update that he's calling for about the same overall trend as in gold, except there's something I found very, very interesting that I want to show you guys quickly here. The 3 biggest run-ups in the silver price since 2005 were preceded by big ramps in open interest, and thus interesting to observe open interest ramping rapidly at this time. So what he's showing here is a chart of silver price with an overlay of open interest. The what is that? Pink, purple, fuchsia, something in between, that is the open interest, and the silver price here is the blue. So what we have here is a nice ramp up in open interest, which coincides with the beginning of this nice run up. And then next we have this massive ramp up in open interest, which briefly had a nice pop, followed by a correction, and then a nice run again. And then thirdly, here we have a nice pop in open interest, which preceded this massive run. So he's saying that now we're coming back up. We're seeing another ramp up in open interest. It's coming back to these previous levels that the high was signaled. So what this means is purely speculation. I'm not sure if this really has any concrete evidence that this will push the silver price up, but it's definitely something to discuss. So I will leave the link in the description below for this one. Will be the first link you'll find for the Clive Maund update. And now two more things that I quickly want to tip you guys off on. We have China plans to double gold consumption in 3 years. How high will gold prices go? So China has definitely been China among India and other large, fast-growing developing nations have been massively ramping up their consumption of the shiny yellow metal, along with silver. We shouldn't leave silver out of there either. But yeah, this is definitely something to give a read. I'll leave this down below too. And finally, we have here's the gold market in one fantastic chart. There we have it, Chinese gold production plus net imports. I believe the yellow part, or yeah, domestic gold production here is the yellow part, and then the red part is China gold net imports from Hong Kong. So as we can see, this is increasing in an exponential manner, and China is definitely stockpiling the yellow metal. And finally, we have American Gold Eagle bullion sales reach highest monthly total since July 2010. So what this article goes into is if you compare the 2012 November Gold Eagle sales number, they are roughly, what was it? I think it was 3 times. I believe it's gone up threefold since November in 2012. I'm just trying to gloss over this year to remember. But yeah, anyway, Gold Eagle sales are massively up along with American Eagle silver coins, but the largest increase can be seen in gold. So guys, I will leave it there. I don't want to make this update too long for you guys. These are some amazing articles that you guys should take a look at that I will link to in the description box below.